what you see on the news or what you hear from people and all of this stuff about, what's happening with the state of the world and AI and climate and all of that. It's super important. Of course, it's important, but it's not the whole story. As a teen, you're probably feeling so stressed out about the state of the world, and you're probably thinking, like, what the heck? Did I just get born into some random broken planet just being handed to you to deal with? What if this world is not as broken as it seems? What if behind all of the chaos, all this negative information, what if there's something underneath all of it that just makes sense? I saw a clip the other day and it broke my heart just a little bit. And I want to show you what that is. But before I do that, I want to ask you something. Is it that the world is getting worse? Or could it be that you and your generation are more aware and more switched on than the generations that came before you? And if that's the case, like, why do you think that is? Why do you think it is that you feel so much more and you care so much more about the injustice? Do you think maybe it could be a sign that something's changing? Okay, here's the clip that I saw.
When we asked young people about what they were feeling stress about, two-thirds of them told us that they worry about what the world will be like when they are adults. We also had 39% of them say that they see things online that makes them uncomfortable. And about a third of them told us that they feel like they've got to be perfect.
So, two-thirds of you guys are feeling worried about this? Like, that is a lot. And I want to bring a different perspective, okay? And I'm fully aware at the fact that I might sound like I'm privileged or something like that. I'm fully aware that I am a very blessed Australian living with a roof under my head and I've got food and everything like that. I'm not in the middle of war, but I just want to explain something to you. And the best way for me to describe that is through a metaphor. Just imagine that you and your friends one day are feeling kind of bored. And so you're like, you know what? We're gonna go and pretend to be actors and actresses in a movie. And so you get up, you go and find the local studio, you're in the set, and you're acting out scenes from a movie together. And just like they have those props in the movie sets, there's like little machines of explosives and all these other little machines that are like splurting out water. And so you're getting wet as you're going through this scene. The explosives are hitting you like the props, and you're feeling the pain from that. It hurts. You're feeling the discomfort that comes from getting wet. You're experiencing all of that stuff. But deep down, you know still that you're just acting, and you know still that it's just a movie. You're still experiencing all the hardship. You're still falling over as you do that running scene. You're still feeling that pain as, the other actor starts yelling at you. But deep down, still just pretend. And this is kind of like what life is. We are all here just pretending that we are small, that we are disempowered, and that we've forgotten our true nature, which is literally infinite. Like, our true nature is all of this combined into one. This entire planet and universe and all of us are connected, and we're held together by this beautiful energy that can be perceived when we quieten the mind. And this energy, it's like this big, beautiful bubble of love and protection. And this is the thing. This is why I wanted to, I guess, talk about how what you see on the news or what you hear from people and all of this stuff about, what's happening with the state of the world and AI and climate and all of that, it's super important. Of course, it's important, but it's not the whole story. And another way that I can explain this is through a story by a famous philosopher, Plato. And the way he tried to describe this concept is like, okay, imagine there's like these three people and they're born in a cave, and they've been born as slaves in a cave. So they're like tied up and they could only see one wall of the cave. And so their whole life, all they ever see are like these shadows that are passing on the wall of the cave. And because that's all they know, they think that those shadows are real life. Like, they think that those shadows are all there is, until one day one of those people break free from the cave, and they leave and they see that, oh my gosh, all along it was just that there was objects moving past the light, and that was creating the shadow. So he realized like the shadow is not the truth. It's the people outside that were walking past the light, creating the shadows. There's so much more out there. Like we're only seeing half of it. There's this whole other thing out there. And so he comes back to tell his other mates in the cave. He's like, guys, like those shadows aren't real. It's just a projection. It's just a reflection. But his other mates in the cave are like, what are you on about, bro? They didn't believe him. They didn't understand. They couldn't see that there was more. These projections, these reflections, these shadows are kind of like what we see on the surface. You know, all the fear around AI, all the fear around climate, all the fear, just fear in general. All of that is kind of like just the shadow. It's just the illusion that we're creating. But the truth is that this planet, this universe, and all of us are held, we're bound by this energy. And some people call the energy like a universal life force energy. Some people call this love. Some people call it God. Doesn't really matter what you call it, but it's this energy that can be perceived when you quieten the mind. When you quieten the mind, you realize that inherently everything is all good. We are all good. Everything is all good. And everything else is kind of just like the show, and we're the actors and actresses pretending like we're not safe, pretending like we're in danger, but we're never in true danger. I don't mean to sound like privileged because I understand that there are people who are in physical danger. But what I mean by that is it's never existential danger because we are infinite. You know, the human might be in danger, but us, our spirit, who we really are, is always free. And all of this stuff is not to say that, you know, we shouldn't care about the state of the world and we shouldn't help one another. If anything, it just shows that we should help each other and help even more, but not from a place of fear, but from a place of unconditional love, knowing that your pain is my pain is your pain, because we're all connected. And so it's not that we become complacent and passive and we're like, whatever happens, happens. Like, you know, we still put in effort, but we put in effort through means that we can control. So what that means is like, instead of worrying about all the things we can't control, we focus on what we can control and the impact that that can make. And what we can control is our own inner demon, these insecurities, this self-hate, negative self-talk, jealousies, all of this stuff. Because at the end of the day, what's happening outside of us on our planet, in our reality, is a direct reflection of everything that's going on within us. As within, so without. This is how the universe works. Our reality is like us pushed out, right? It's like a mirror. Just want to remind you, like, you're not helpless, and to uncover your own inner demons, your own shadows, your own insecurities, inner doubts. Bring your attention to that. Give it your awareness. Literally, all you need to do is become aware of it and just accept it and love it for being there so that it can disintegrate and move on. You don't need to go into like some like crazy healing work and try to like change all these negative thoughts. You just become aware of it and hold it in love and understanding, knowing that like, okay, I've got these insecurities and I've got these self-doubts because of stuff I went through. I understand why maybe I made up that lie about not being good enough because I thought I needed that lie to get me through. You just kind of like acknowledge that these insecurities and these doubts and any kind of negative self-concept or idea about ourselves that lays within us was created at a time through repetition or through just us thinking that it's what we needed to believe in order to be safe. You don't need it anymore, but you can acknowledge it, give it the love and compassion, just like you would if a friend came to you and started showing you all the ways that they are mean to themselves, or if they started just talking about their insecurities and self-doubts, you would just be like, hey, like that's not true. Like, I love you. Like, I see why you think that, but like, no, you know, you just hold it in that compassion, in that love. You're not like, no, why do you think that? You don't know. You're not like that, right? You're like gentle, but still like, come on, man. Like, you're not good enough. Like, you're awesome. I know it sounds so far away, but by practicing these techniques and by turning these inner demons into love and acceptance, we can literally change our entire planet, our entire existence, and everything. Like, we can change what's going on anywhere. This is the stuff that's in our control, you know? And a lot of people in power and just a lot of authority figures don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that literally you have the ability and power to change everything going on outside just by focusing on yourself. And the fact that we're all connected with one another means that, like, once one of us kind of like light up and turn all those inner shadows and demons into that love, that can literally affect someone else. And that, my friend, is in your control. Not saying to not do the other stuff too, like, for sure. Like, if you love to protest, for sure, like, of course you should, you know. Action in that way is also important, impactful as well. But, you know, when we do that stuff, we do that out of love, and we do that out of like faith and hope, not out of fear and not out of like hatred, you know, because we're never going to win if we do that. You know what I mean? The last thing I want to talk about is the fact that the universe and everything within it is cyclical. So what that means is, like, everything changes, like the seasons, like just like we have winter, autumn, spring, summer, all of that, the universe is the same. And for the past, I believe it's 12,000 or so years, the universe had been in kind of like a cycle of darkness, or a cycle of winter, if you want to think about it like that. Universe has like two polar energies. They're like opposing forces that are working together. You've got the light and you've got the dark. Okay, and that can be portrayed in all kinds of ways, like night and day, positive and negative, that kind of thing, you know, good and evil, love and fear, just these two opposites, right? And so for the past 12,000 years or so, we had been in the dark, the winter, the bad, the whatever you want to call it. It's just a different energy. And that's why everything has been so hectic for so long on the planet, and everything that we've seen. You know, there's been a lot of destruction and war and just a whole lot of horrible stuff, right? A whole lot of pain and suffering and agony. But now we're finally moving into the other side. The seasons are changing. So now we're moving into the light. We're moving into the day, you know, we're moving into like the summer. What that means is, like, things are actually changing, and you might be able to see the changes already. Like, it's crazy. Like, when I was your age, there was no talk of this stuff when I was in school. Like, gosh, like, just the very fact that we're openly talking about energy now and manifestation, the fact that, you know, we're questioning a lot of things, you can probably see the way things are already moving. And that's the thing, things need to get really bad before they get better. Like, things need to destruct so that they can be rebuilt. It's kind of like, if we use the movie analogy that we were talking about before, it's like we're in the part of the movie where things get really bad just before the plot twist. You know how every movie has that? And that's kind of like what we're in. And that's probably why you can see so much suffering and everything, but that's just the illusion. The truth is that things are getting better. And that's why things are like kind of hitting this like weird point where everyone's kind of like, whoa, what's going on? Even in that, like, we can see how it's kind of like forcing us to question so many things, and forcing us to think for ourselves and turn to other things to find like reasoning and clarity and light. You know, so many things. Like, I think I read a study recently about how, for this first time in forever, the your generation is like drinking less and all that stuff. Not to say there's anything wrong with drinking and stuff, no judgment there. But what I'm trying to say is, like, it seems that right now everyone is literally focusing on their own wellness, you know, and that to me is just another big, beautiful sign of change and shifting. So yeah, get excited. You know, this doesn't mean like don't care and don't feel passionate for your fellow brothers and sisters all around the world who might be suffering. Like, feel it, but send them love. You know, send them like hope and faith and strength. You know, not like you're doomed. Oh my god, like, that's just not gonna help. You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but yeah, I hope this video has helped you to find some, yeah, just hope and faith and just a different perspective, okay? Just because you're being shown something doesn't mean it's the whole truth. Don't be afraid to question. Don't be afraid to like find your own answers for all kinds of things. Yeah, a couple other signs that things are changing. Like, look at how openly we're talking about mental health. Like, gosh, back in the day, like, there was no talk about this stuff. In my generation, we were kind of talking about it, we were kind of starting. But can you imagine our parents? Like, anything to do with mental health back then, like, it was considered weak. Like, they weren't even allowed to, like, literally touch the surface. And now look at us. Like, we've literally gone really far. There's so many things. Like, people are like more cautious of what they're eating, looking for organic food. People are leaving the 9 to 5 or jobs that they're not happy in, and finding their own passions. Like, you guys, I'm telling you, it's time's changing. Times are changing, ma. And the most exciting part of all of this is that you are here at this time. And so, what does that say about you? Like, gosh, I feel like I'm the luckiest person in the world being able to work with teenagers, because, like, if you're here at this time while things are getting better and things are changing, like, that says a lot about you and your soul. Like, obviously, you're the right fit for these changing times. You're in alignment with it. And so, like, if that's not confirmation that you're way more powerful than you've been taught, then I don't know what is, because you literally are. So, if the things I've been sharing today have hit home for you in some way, I have another video that you might be interested in watching. It's more about why and how we struggle on a more personal level. Today was more about, like, the worldly side of things. This is a little bit more personal to us. So I'll leave that here. And yeah, my name is Susan, by the way. I'm a therapist for teens. I work with teens one-on-one. I help you guys to overcome stress, anxiety, to solve your problems, to overcome self-doubt, perfectionism, caring what people think, just all that stuff that can hold you back when you're a teenager. And so, yeah, the ultimate goal is to help you come back to who you really are, so that you can just be yourself, to feel free, and to actually enjoy life. So, if that is something that you think will be helpful for you, there's a couple links around my YouTube and social media about how you can be supported. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you are able to see where you do have control and power, and to figure things out as much as you can whilst enjoying the process. All right, thanks. Bye.